Hey guys, welcome to the Fairy Tale Podcast, your podcast for the greatest guild in the world. I'm getting all fired up just thinking about this episode.
So hello everybody, welcome back to another interview for our 200th episode of the Fairy Tale Podcast. We are joined by our Bruce Elliott, the voice of Master Makarov.
Yay, Makarov.
Hey.
Yeah, see, I got it right this time. I didn't call you Jalal.
Oh
Wait, you
yeah,
called
I
him Jalal
forgot
last
about
time?
that.
No, I thought that he was Jalal when
my
I was
God.
messaging him on Facebook, and then I decided I was going to make an entire live show where it was just me apologizing for messing things up. Yeah.
Dude, Jalal's far too young for him to have voiced him. All of his characters are of the badass elderly
it's
type.
Voiceover, you never know.
Dude, I'm looking at his fucking all the voices he's done, and he's got all the badass elderly man. Like, dude, fucking Ginyu's like over 700 years old.
Okay.
Just saying.
So Bruce, apparently we know where you're pigeonholed into. Badass old man.
Well,
I mean, and Whitebeard.
Yeah,
let's,
I
let's
guess.
not forget about that. Whitebeard, come on.
I am one of the older boys and girls at Funimation.
Okay, all right. So I've got a question for you. Whitebeard, what's the deal with that? He doesn't have a beard. How'd that come about?
Like he knows.
He should.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
He's got that great white mustache. That's about all I know. I'll tell you something about since you mentioned Whitebeard. I auditioned for Whitebeard about. I have to go back and look it up, but it's been about 6 years ago.
Wow.
When Funimation first got the rights to start doing One Piece.
Yeah.
And they had all these auditions, and I got cast as Whitebeard, and I was thrilled. And like the next week, we did an episode, and there was Whitebeard. And then it was like, well, Bruce, it's probably going to be a while before the next time we use you. Oh, okay. How long? Well, I don't know. There's a few hundred episodes to go yet. Oh, really? So I did that one episode. I did a video game, a One Piece video game as Whitebeard. And then basically I've been waiting 6 years. And Whitebeard finally came around. His story arc, which is at something like episode 462, finally came around. This week I did my first Whitebeard voice session on Thursday with Joel McDonald.
Nice.
I am just amazed.
I think I know what arc he's talking about too.
Yeah, I
think
do
it's
too.
the Marineford arc.
Oh my god, I
think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that
they tell me
arc.
it's like there's like 40 or 50 episodes.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much in a row with Whitebeard. So.
Mm-hmm. And that arc is one of those arcs that I hope you get a chance to sit down and actually watch it when it comes out.
Oh, I hope so too.
Yeah, because it's one of those iconic moments that just shows how good of a storyteller Oda really is, because that arc, man.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's another one of those where you really get engaged with it, and it tugs on your heartstrings. It really does. Gets you right.
Well, I got to say, I was quite impressed with the two episodes that we worked on Thursday, and there was quite a bit of I would say character development already.
Right.
That Whitebeard is not just a one-dimensional villain or anything like that.
No.
He has a lot of strong feelings about his men, his crew, his and Ace that he calls his son.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so I'm really looking forward to working on that.
I really do hope you get the chance to like sit down and watch this this full arc because
I should be able to. It
it's
just may
one
be a
of those.
while.
It's definitely one of those things where I cried at the end. I'm a full.
It was a major
I-
turning point for One Piece. Like, it was a huge character development piece for
And
a
it's actually-
lot of people.
It's actually a turning point in the series as well.
yeah.
Like it changed the
Wow.
dynamic of the series, and that's actually the halfway mark for One Piece.
Oh my
Not
God.
even. It's like right before the halfway mark. I think it's
Oh,
after.
yeah,
I
'cause
think
the
it's after
halfway
the
mark
time
takes
skip.
place-
Really? There are that many episodes, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, you have
He-
no
Oh
idea.
my gosh.
When after this whole thing took place, they asked Oda how far into the story they already were, and he goes, "Well, it's been about halfway. They're about halfway through the grand line."
Give or
I'm just
take.
like,
a couple
"Jeez,
hundred
man,
episodes.
Oh my
look at
gosh.
this since 1999. It's been
Wow.
16 years, and they've and like I think it was a year and a half to 2 years ago is when this actually came out in the manga and was finished
Yeah.
and everything. And he was like, "We've reached the halfway point," and everybody's like, "What? You mean it's nowhere near close to ending? What?"
Wow.
Yeah.
Epic. Literally epic.
Your character is going to have the greatest impact on not only fans of One Piece but just the world of One Piece in general. Like what happens throughout the course of this one arc shapes everything in the story afterwards.
And,
Well,
and
cool.
it really
Yeah.
does. It really does do a really good job to paint Whitebeard as that. And this is going to sound kind of weird, as that loving father figure.
He really
Yeah.
is, yeah. Whitebeard has a
Well,
lot
cool. So
of-
you're telling me this has been worth waiting for, in other
Oh,
words.
yes, absolutely.
when Tony said that you were Whitebeard, I was like, "Oh, dude, one of the most iconic characters in all of One Piece, man."
So they've been telling me for years. Yep.
Your character is the only one that's ever stood toe to toe with the King of the Pirates.
That's
Oh.
something.
Now, is this the one? Is this Gold Roger?
Yes,
Gold
Gold Roger.
Roger's the king of the pirates.
Is the King of the Pirates? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And Whitebeard.
Whitebeard's full
that
name is
stood
Edward
toe-to-toe with him
Newgate.
in battle. It's crazy.
Whitebeard's full name is actually Edward Newgate.
Yeah, Edward Newgate, and
Oh, okay.
and then they
Edward
have
Newgate.
Blackbeard, who is Marshall D. Teach. So there's a lot.
Right now, he was mentioned. Yeah, on Thursday. Yeah.
Except, Blackbeard actually has a beard.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe there's a story in Whitebeard who had a beard and lost it and kept the mustache. Who knows? We'll find out.
All right.
Anyway.
As much as I'd love to delve into the One Piece stuff, I want to go back.
This is a fairy tale.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I couldn't help it. I had to ask. Thank
It's
you for
not-
Oh,
indulging
yeah.
me.
I don't blame you. Whitebeard's amazing.
I'll tell you what. One thing, the other thing I wanted to make sure to mention today at some point is that this was also a big week for me because I went to an anime con in Lansing, Michigan last March.
Oh wow.
Shudocon.
Yeah.
And I have been officially invited back again for Shudocon 2016.
Nice.
And I wanted to mention that. I don't go to cons very much.
Yeah.
So this was a big deal, and I was thrilled that they invited me back.
Travel can
So that's going to be, I think, the third weekend in March in Lansing, Shudocon 2016. So everybody put it on your calendars.
be right.
You guys are all over the place, right? You're not all located in the same town.
No, we're not all located in the same town. We're spread all over the country.
Yeah.
Don't
Anybody
we
in
have
Central
someone
Michigan?
in Canada?
Huh?
Don't we have someone in Canada?
No. We don't
I
have
thought we did.
anybody. We have someone really, really close. Greg is in Seattle. That's why he's not on the interview today because he's at PAX. He's over at PAX Prime.
Lucky.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he's in Seattle, Washington. So yeah, he's
Anybody
pretty close.
in Michigan?
Huh?
Anybody in Michigan?
We've got people in Iowa.
Yep.
Well,
So I'm probably the closest.
Yeah, he's the closest. Most of us are located in the southeast.
You know what?
Okay.
I'll see. What date did you say it was?
March.
I don't have the dates in front of me. It's like the,
Third weekend in March.
I want to say the 18th through the 20th,
In March,
Friday
huh?
through Sunday.
Okay. Well,
March.
I'll see if I
March.
can make it up there. I'll be the Fairy Tale podcast representative.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, that'd be great. But I just want to get that out there. That was my other big news this week.
I can apply. I can make sure that we apply for press for them. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
What got you into acting? What was it that first inspired you to want to become involved in acting?
Oh my goodness. Okay, not just voice acting, but acting.
Yes.
Well, I'll give you the as abbreviated a version as I can. My very first experience on stage was in the 3rd grade.
Mm-hmm.
I had a beautiful little soprano voice as a boy, and I was a favorite of the music teacher at my elementary school, Edwin J. Keast, which is actually about 2 blocks from me right now, where I am at my old family home. And I was homesick from school one day and came back the next day to find that I had been cast as the lead in The Pied Piper. It's like a little operetta version of that old story. And then I really got into it in high school. I got really interested in a little bit in junior high, and by high school I was doing plays at my high school, and by the time I got to college, I knew that's really what I wanted to do. I would have been a theater major, but actually I believe it was my senior year they changed it to this. I went to Austin College, which is a small liberal arts school about 60 miles north of Dallas in Sherman, and I actually graduated with a degree in communication arts many decades ago.
I know the communications degree stories. Oh yes.
I've always said acting was sort of the path of least resistance. It was something I liked. It was something that I got praised for, and various times along the way by teachers and other people. I took some teen classes at the Dallas Theater Center that kind of helped solidify my interest in acting. And yeah, by college I knew that's what I wanted to do. I was going to be a theater and math major. Because I had been he said modestly, a remarkable math student all the way through high school. I was great at algebra, I was great at geometry, I was great at trigonometry. I never had to take notes. I always understood what was going on. And my first semester freshman year in college, I took calculus and flunked it.
Oh.
And that was the end of my math career.
Yeah, calculus sucks.
I never could understand it.
So I'm glad that I'm going to a arts school, because taking a math class was optional and I took astronomy instead.
Hey, well, astronomy's math related, certainly.
We hardly did anything math related. It was, talk about the phenomenons, like the anatomy of a shooting star and stuff like that.
Yeah, all right, cool stuff.
So actually cool stuff.
Very cool stuff. I'm an old sci-fi fan from way back, so.
Nice.
I think I got bitten by the theater bug in high school, even though I'd done some earlier acting. But we were doing a stage production of Arsenic and Old Lace, and we actually watched.
My favorites.
Yeah, we watched the old black and white Cary Grant film, just watching that, like I still have it, just watching that and how funny it was, and that's the moment where I was like, this is what I want to do, and I ended up because I'd been doing silly voices and mimicking voices that I'd heard growing up, watching cartoons and stuff, and all of that, I just kind of ended up gravitating into voiceover as well. So I was curious, what brought you into voiceover as a profession as well?
Path of least resistance.
It's kind of the same. It was just like, oh yeah, I can do these things. Cool.
Yeah, and people say I'm good. I go, really? Wow. Okay, cool. I'll stick with this for a while. Yeah, what do you know? Amazing. So, and by the way, Arsenic and Old Lace is one of my favorites. I played Teddy at the Dallas Theater back in the I guess early '80s, and I consider that one. That's in my pantheon of maybe a half dozen perfect plays. I consider that a perfect play. It's such a wonderful piece of theater.
I was Lieutenant Rooney in that, so I didn't show up until the third act. But
but
I just love.
In through the window comes Mayor LaGuardia.
Yeah, exactly. Fiorello LaGuardia.
What else can I tell you?
And then we did an original production of Sleepy Hollow, and then Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was my senior year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I
I
think
got
my
to play
school.
Mr. Salt, so I had to learn different British accents and figure out which one I wanted. And that's where actually studying and learning to mimic an accent really kind of picked up for me. So that was a lot of fun, and I think that also led towards voiceover, was learning
No,
to
I've
mimic.
I've always enjoyed doing accents, and,
Mhm.
and English accents are sort of a specialty.
And
I love I
I've
love
had
doing
people
accents.
ask,
Hmm?
what's the difference between doing an American accent and a British accent? And the only thing I could think of is, like, when I speak like this, I tend to use the middle of my tongue more, and when I use a British accent, I tend to use the tip of my tongue a lot more, and you enunciate
Hmm.
a lot more, and that was kind of
Yeah,
how I
you may
viewed
be onto something there.
it.
I don't really analyze it much. I've always had a pretty good ear.
I didn't think about it until I was already doing it, and I was like, oh, imagine that.
I've always had a pretty good ear, and some of my favorite actors in the movies we would watch when I was a kid would have a lot of English actors, and I just there's something so musical about English accents, and I don't get to do them very often at Funimation. They're usually not much into accents. So on the rare occasion that they're actually looking for an accent, I go, yeah, me, let me audition.
Now
Yeah.
I know our Caitlin, our Mira Jane, is probably a bit disappointed, or she will be when she hears this interview, that she was at work and she missed this, because you also play a very pivotal role in Case Closed.
Oh yeah, that was my first job.
Yep, and she loves that series.
Oh yeah, I still do too. It still makes me sad that it was never able to find a sustaining audience in the
Right?
States.
I recently just watched, and this is, I would have loved if this would have actually happened and been dubbed, because again, another Funimation alum, Sonny Strait,
Oh
played
yeah.
Lupin in Lupin the Third, and there was actually a crossover movie between Case Closed and Lupin the Third.
No.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
Huh.
Absolutely true. And it was
Huh.
seriously hilarious.
Dubbed or subbed?
Subbed. There is no
Okay.
dubbed.
You'll have to link that to me later.
Huh.
Okay.
Well, wait. I worked on some. I think we did about. I've forgotten now.
Was it? Did you
We
dub
did
the movie?
four. I think we did 4, 5, maybe 6 case closed movies. Pretty much after we'd stopped working on the series, but I know there's lots more. Yeah, I loved doing case closed. That was my very first job at Funimation. It was great. And Richard just talked and talked and talked and talked and talked, and I made a lot of money for a couple of years. It was swell.
I'm trying to see if it actually, like, I'm looking at, for the sites to see Lupin the Third versus Detective Conan is what it was titled.
Huh.
Lupin the Third
I
movie.
don't think I ever heard about that.
Oh, if you haven't heard about it, then they probably didn't dub it.
No, I'm sure I'd remember that.
Because they called it Case Closed over here because it was called Detective Conan, and
Right.
yes, they didn't want Conan the Barbarian or whatever. And I'm like,
Apparently. When we first started working on it, it was always called Detective Conan.
yeah,
You know, it wasn't until they actually finally they put it on the air on Adult Swim, and then started releasing DVDs, and they had changed it to Case Closed at that point.
right, yeah. It was some wackiness about, like, Conan the Barbarian, and I'm like, no,
Yeah, apparently. Yeah,
He named himself after Conan Arthur Doyle, who
Arthur
wrote
Conan Doyle.
Sherlock
Yeah,
Holmes.
yeah, yeah. Oh well.
Uh, But that series is really, really cute, and I love that movie. If you get the chance, I would say check it out. I would have loved to have actually seen that movie come to fruition, because Sonny was so funny as Lupin. He really was.
Well, Sonny's great. He's everything he does is so good.
All right. I think I've asked enough of my questions. Did anybody else have a question that they wanted to ask Bruce?
Yeah, it's
fairy tale ones for you guys.
Oh yeah, Fairy Tale. Oh yeah, that show.
Yeah, the thing.
And by the
You're
way,
basically
congratulations.
our dad. I mean, come on.
Congratulations, by the way, on your 200th episode.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's
Thank you.
terrific. That's
It's
terrific.
actually Monday. Wow, it'll be like
Yeah.
got just 2 days.
what was it like? Like, how long did it take for you to really start to get the ball rolling? Because I know, you know, things can be difficult to get into this sort of field. It's you know, prime example. I've been doing this for almost 10 years now, and you know, I'm just now starting to meet people such as yourself and Richie, and you know, just getting the ball rolling. How long did it take you, and did it ever feel like it wouldn't work out for you, and how did you get over that?
You make me laugh, which makes me cough. Yes, I feel all the time like I wonder whether this is going to work out. My steadiest job as a voice actor was Case Closed. I've never worked as steadily as that since then, and that's something like coming up on 12 years ago. I'm, you know, as we say, I'm a professional actor. I have been for a long time, and I had an agent in Dallas, and my agent, you know, called me up one day. I think it was late 2003, saying, "I have an audition to send you on." I go, "Okay," and it's at Funimation, and I had heard of Funimation. I was vaguely familiar with Dragon Ball Z, which was the show that really got Funimation going. And I went out for this audition, and you know, like the rest is history. So in a way, I don't feel like I'm a typical voice actor. And I never went looking for it. It kind of found me simply because I was an actor. And amazingly enough, and I'm still sort of amazed. One job led to another job, and to another job, and now, you know, 12 years later, I've worked on like 160 different shows and movies and stuff. I'm
Actually,
still
almost
kind of amazed
170.
at that. But I didn't set out to be a voice actor. You know, I was an actor, and I just wanted to work, and I liked working wherever my acting would take me, and it happened to take me into voice land, and that was cool.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not typical. I didn't spend years trying to break into anime. I didn't know much about anime. I'd seen Cowboy Bebop, and that was about it when I first started. But now I love it. It's great fun.
So
and I love the people I work with at Funimation. It's a really great bunch of folks.
Do you watch anime at all?
I do some. Not a whole lot. As I say, I'm one of the older boys and girls at Funimation, and I'm in no way what you would consider a target market for most anime. But I do watch some. I get a kick out of it, and I try to watch the Funimation shows. We will sometimes get freebie copies of various Funimation shows just by hanging around up there. You know, I have lots of copies of stuff that I've worked on, and a few that I've just sort of picked up along the way of shows that I haven't worked on. But I must admit, I don't watch a lot, but I also don't watch a lot of TV. I'm more of a reader. But I enjoy what I see. You know, I really got a kick out of watching. The last two major shows that I worked on, Attack on Titan and Space Dandy, were both running at the same time there.
Wait, pause. You said Space Dandy?
Yeah, he's the narrator for voice.
Yeah,
Oh my
I'm the
God!
narrator on Space Dandy.
Of course.
And then I was Dot Pixis in Attack on Titan, and I thought those shows were great. I really enjoyed those, despite the fact that I was working on them. They were great anyway.
So, all right, quick follow-up question. Since you don't watch very much anime, but do you have a favorite anime out of the ones you have seen?
Well, they'd be ones I worked on. Case Closed is still a favorite of mine. I really got it. I still get a charge. I'll dig out, one of my DVDs of Case Closed, and I thought most of those were really very clever and very well written and very imaginative. And so I'm certainly prejudiced towards that show. But the other one that I think in ways that I'm proudest of was Samurai 7, which I thought was just a brilliant series, and I got to play Kanbei, who was the leader of the samurai in that, who actually didn't talk that much. He was sort of, the quiet, strong type. But I just thought that was a tremendous series, and I've watched that a couple of times all the way through. I thought that was wonderful.
And it's actually really funny how, going back to Detective Conan or Case Closed, how much longevity that series has had in Japan as well. Cause
oh yeah,
isn't it still
as far as I know, it's still in production.
the manga's still going too. There are over 1,000 chapters.
Jesus.
I'm not surprised.
We thought One Piece was long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how many hundreds of episodes they're up to on Case Closed.
I've joked several times about how with Case Closed, it's been running so long that Conan should have grown up naturally by now.
No kidding.
You should have.
Yeah, you might
like,
think.
dude, you had puberty like 5 years ago. Come on.
Oh man, if that show had hit over here,
oh man,
my life would be different now.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, though, is with all the, because I feel like a lot of anime have been getting reboots recently.
Mm-hmm.
Conan might be one of them.
I would really like it if Conan could be brought back.
Oh, I know. Haley would lose it.
There's actually.
Well, I know it still has a lot of fans. I hear from people pretty regularly saying, "Is Case Closed ever going to come back?" Well, and my answer to that is what I was told at Funimation, which was that when they ran it on TV, it did okay. Its biggest audience seemed to be among college-age people, but the general consensus of opinion at Funimation is that it was a little too bloody for young kids, and it was a little too kiddie-oriented for older people.
Which is
and that it never sold well enough. It was never popular enough to keep going. So we did about 125 episodes, and that was it. And then we did a few movies after that.
See, the thing is like, because Crunchyroll is actually simulcasting it. And the most recent episode is episode 789.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and it comes out Saturdays at 2 p.m. Central Time.
On Crunchyroll. I've heard of Crunchyroll, but
yep.
I have no personal experience of it.
Man, Crunchyroll is a big simulcast anime website. Like, they release episodes as they come out in Japan with subtitles in Japanese. And actually a couple of series, actually, they have dubs for them. I was laughing really hard when I saw Go Lion on their list, which is actually, this is taking us back. It's the Japanese version, the original title and the original storyline, the actual Japanese version for Voltron. And I was like, wait a minute, Voltron is an anime? I've been an anime fan since I was 3 years old? What? Found that out. I was a huge Voltron fan, man. Huge. But yeah, they've got Case Closed up on Crunchyroll right now.
Wow.
Well, the thing is, though, I feel like a good number of anime that when it was released,
mm-hmm.
I felt like if they would have stuck it out a little longer, then things would have worked out. Because I feel like the fan base for a lot of these animes that were cut short, right before they hit their prime, has doubled, sometimes tripled. I feel like if they were to bring it back, it'd come back with a vengeance.
I mean, it has a 5-star rating on Crunchyroll.
No kidding.
No kidding. And over 60 plus reviews. And getting people to actually review an anime is difficult.
Oh yeah.
In any way, shape, or form, unless they do it as their profession on places like YouTube or things like that. But like getting people to actually type up reviews on places like Crunchyroll or My Anime List, like that's a difficult thing to get people to do. And Case Closed has over 62, which is incredible. And it's got a spin-off series as well. Case Closed has a spin-off series called Magic Kaito. and that's also on Crunchyroll as well. And your character from Case Closed is also in the spin-off series.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
like,
gosh.
honestly, I feel like
I feel
like
if,
telling
if,
it.
if
It's
they
giving you bad news. It's not bad news, man. I swear.
I feel like if Funimation were to revisit it
Yeah.
and just take another look at it,
Magic
they would
Kaito-
see it is worth their time.
Well,
Well, you
Magic
know-
Kaito has 24 episodes so far, and I know that because the way that I understand it, it is very much a spin-off series from Detective Conan, and I don't know enough about it.
I'll be darned. I will mention. I've mentioned to my boss at Funimation more than once that I get messages from my Facebook friends. Most of my Facebook friends are anime fans, and I get a message every once in a while saying, "I really like you. Case Closed. Is that show ever going to come back?" And I've mentioned that to Justin Cook, who is the kind of the head guy
The
on
legend.
our side of the building at Funimation. There's an administration side and a production side. He's kind of the boss on the production side. He did mention to me not that long ago that Funimation would be interested in getting Case Closed again, but that the Japanese house that owns it wants too much money for the rights.
Right.
And that was a surprise to me to hear.
And in order for Funimation, and this is for everybody listening, guys, because this is how it works. Because at the end of the day, Funimation is a business.
Oh yeah.
And it goes like this: if they're going to shell out that much money, the thing that they need back from you guys, and this has been a thing that we've talked about before, but pre-orders mean a lot. The more people that pre-order, the more they know that people want the show. And it's great that you guys like it and you're fans of the series and everything, but like if they don't make enough money through pre-orders or DVD sales and things like that, then these amazing series kind of die off really quickly. We've talked with Todd Habercorn, who of course is Natsu in Fairy Tail, and he was very, very happy. He was very, very happy for this, for us promoting Fairy Tail before it had even really gotten up and running from Funimation. We were just like insanely happy to hear that it got picked up. And he was mentioning it was kind of the same thing with Sergeant Frog. He really loved that series. And,
oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, and it kind of died off. You know what? Because we're
That
talking
breaks
so
my
much about
heart.
Case Closed, I'm gonna see if I can bring a friend of mine on that is involved in other podcasts as well. Oh no, he's away. Sadness. One of my first podcasting friends, when I first started podcasting, he was reviewing our show for us. He goes by the name of Doctor, even though his name is Michael, but he goes by Doctor, and he runs 3 different podcasts, and one of them is One Podcast Prevails, and it's a whole Case Closed podcast.
Yeah. One Truth Prevails. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So he does a Case Closed podcast. So he'll probably, if he hears this, he'll be a little upset that he missed it.
Well, tell him to give me a call.
I may pass your info over to him so
You're
that he
welcome
can
to do
contact
that.
you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Man, and yeah, I mean, there's a whole podcast about it. There's lots of fans for the podcast, so there's definitely a rather sizable market in the anime community for Case Closed.
I know there's still interest. Who knows? Maybe someday that tipping point will tip and we'll get to do some more. But I'm not holding my breath.
I'm one of those people. I've got to tell you the truth. Like at 4 years old, I would let my kids watch Star Wars. So if I would let my kids watch Star Wars, I wouldn't have a problem with letting them watch Case Closed. It's smart writing. It's, the stakes are actually set at a level to where you care about how the mysteries get solved.
Oh, yeah.
And the characters are well developed and likable.
It doesn't have Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, right. Yes. Well, I was talking about the original 3.
Yeah.
And the one coming out in December because I'm super excited for that.
Oh yeah,
I'm calling it, man. They're gonna have a Darth. He's gonna take his mask off, and Mickey's gonna be underneath it.
Oh no. Anyway, but no, I don't see what the big problem is with television networks and their censorship and their ratings on things of like, this isn't for kids, it shows blood. I'm like, you know what? At the point that they're 4 years old, they've seen blood already because they've tripped, they've fallen, they've had shots.
If you think about it, though, I mean, really, with Case Closed, they weren't all horribly bloody, but the very first episode has a beheading, for God's sake.
Yeah, well,
it was just,
Okay, you're not wrong there.
yeah, it's just
I'd still show that to my 4-year-old kid. They're like, did his head just come off? Yep, it came off. He's a Lego man. I could explain it away.
It's like, that is why you don't stand up.
They weren't
on
all
roller
bloody
coasters.
and gory, but enough of them were that. I don't think it wasn't censorship. I don't think it's just like I say. I don't think it never just quite found its market.
These shows were actually aimed at children in Japan. So I'm
Oh yeah.
Come on, man.
At last I heard it runs on prime time in Japan.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Just, and they got no problem with it.
Yep.
Over here, not so much.
Oh goodness. Okay, so fairy tale stuff. Do we have?
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
We keep getting sidetracked.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm like we start talking about One Piece and the case closed. It's just gonna be us rambling about these things. Lisana, did you have anything that you wanted to talk about? Any questions you wanted to ask?
I don't know if it's already been asked, but like when it came to fairy tale, whenever I've talked to voice actors, they talk about, oh yeah, we do like auditions for a bunch of characters in this show. So, were there any other characters in fairy tale that you auditioned for, or was it just going to be flat out master from the start?
Oh, I can't remember, frankly. I know I did audition. Tyler, I'd worked for Tyler a number of times on other projects, so he asked me to audition for Fairy Tale. I can't remember. I kind of think well, who else would I have auditioned for? I'm trying to think. I don't recall. Maybe I read for another character or two. That's not uncommon. Usually when you go in for auditions, there'll be a book on the desk in the lobby, and if you come in for an audition, you take a look at the book, and they say, pick 2 or 3 different characters that you'd like to read for, and there'll be a page for each of a number of major characters with some sample dialogue. But I don't recall. I don't recall if I actually auditioned for anything else or not, but I sure am glad I got Makarov.
I'm looking at your voiceover roles on Anime News Network, and I gotta say, man, you were in one of my favorite video games of all time. You are, even though it has you listed as additional voices, you were in the Ghostbusters video game.
Yes, I was.
Oh!
Yes, I was, and I've never seen that game or played it.
What? Oh, okay.
And
look,
I couldn't even tell you what I did anymore. I don't remember.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you this. I'm just gonna tell you this, sir. Go on to YouTube and look up that game. It will be
yeah.
Look at a playthrough that somebody does, because that game was so well written and so well done, and it of course had all 4 of them back again, reprising their characters. It had and this was right before Spangler, the guy that played Spangler, he passed away, but Ivan Reitman.
Oh, right, yeah.
Ivan Reitman. It had Ivan Reitman, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Ernie Hudson. Yeah,
Ernie Hudson.
It had all 4 of them back.
And what's the other guy's name? I can't think right now.
And it was so well done. It really felt like a third movie. It really did.
Well, cool that they had the original voices.
They had the original voices back. It felt like Ghostbusters. This one took place in the 90s, the early 90s, so there was a lot of joking and poking at fun at stuff. There's like this whole thing that I did where I spent probably 10 minutes talking to the Vigo painting that they had in the Ghostbusters house, because he would start making predictions about stuff, right? And of course it's like 1991 or whatever, and he says, "I see the evils of the time to come. The glove won't fit." And I'm like, "Oh my God, O.J. Simpson!" And
Now I'm looking at the list of stuff because I wanted to see more of the stuff that you got involved with, and I'm just sitting there like, of course, Black Butler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was so funny seeing they're just going.
I see you in
A lot.
Bacano. You were Zillard in Bacano.
Yes, that was a
Loved
favorite.
Bacano. Oh.
That was one where I got to use an accent. As
Yeah.
evil. I loved that.
I'm happy that you were in Full Metal Alchemist.
In Full Metal, right? I was Boss Gron in the early episodes, who got killed much too early on.
And then
But I also did a voice here and a voice there. I think I'm in like the first or second episode as a guy standing along the road who has like one line.
You were
Nameless
in the
character.
Gray Man, so that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, D Gray Man was fun. Yeah, that's been a few years.
Oh, you were Yoshimitsu in Darker Than Black. Hell yeah! I love that show.
And I remember virtually nothing about it.
Right.
It goes back too many years.
Isn't that how it always goes?
I've lost too many brain cells as I've aged since then.
That was the other joke I had because somebody got into an argument about this regarding Fairy Tale. That I was like, look, Faust, the king in Aeolus is actually Makarov. He's Makarov's Aeolus counterpart. And somebody was like, no, I've got proof right here. You were both Faust and Makarov.
That's right.
See?
Oh, you were in a Dragon Age thing.
Mm-hmm.
In which?
In Dragon Age: Dawn of the Seeker.
Oh, right. Yes.
Okay. Another.
Now I'm gonna nerd out because I'm big into Dragon Age.
I just watched this series a few days ago. Gare Zero. I just watched that a few days ago. Well done, sir. Well done.
Gare.
Gare Zero. You were Garaku Tsuchimiya.
Oh man.
I didn't
Okay,
just
if you
know
say
they had
so.
I'll look it up and see if I can describe a picture or something for.
Oh, okay.
Great. Now I'm actually looking at the Dawn of the Seeker thing. I'm like, what? Cassandra had her own thing? That's awesome.
Let's see.
This story is all about Cassandra.
Okay, yeah. You were the main character's father who controlled like a big dragon-looking spirit in chains. Yeah. Okay, I know which.
Okay, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, he's got like that old Japanese robe thing that he wears, and he always does these little chants or sutras things like that. Oh, Gunslinger Girl, love that. That was a good series.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I didn't do much on that, but that was one of the early ones too.
Mm.
That was probably in the first, like 5 or 6 shows that I worked on. And I was a narrator, and I think he hardly narrated at all. But we used a cowboy voice. These girls are on fire.
Oh yeah, I know exactly. I remember all those.
That's my voice.
Everything. Yes.
That was the remarkable Chris Bevins who decided.
Oh my God!
Do a cowboy voice.
Okay.
Okay.
People are gonna freak with finding this out because this was incredibly popular. He was all right. Bruce was in Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple as
I certainly was.
The big hulking Superman dude.
Yeah.
Right, Hayato. I think.
Hayato, yeah, the master in charge of all the masters.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
That was a fun show. Yeah.
That was actually one of the hugely popular manga online. People were seriously bummed that there was not more seasons of that anime because that
they keep releasing little OVAs here and there of like what is happening after the English dub of the anime ended. I don't know why they keep doing that.
I'm like, why do they not? Oh man, you really should.
I think we did.
I see a lot of stuff that you're in that Tyler was directing in. Like, this zombie? Korea zombie desu ka? Yeah.
Eager man. This is what
I've worked for Tyler quite a lot in recent years. Yeah.
Jesus, just Kenichi alone is awesome. Oh well, okay. I'm not surprised that you were in Negima because like everybody was in Negima, but you were the dean in Negima, and that's really cool. Like,
Right.
and,
Yes.
and I have nothing against that. Like, I love the Negima manga. I don't like the anime as much, and it has very little to do with anything on your. It has nothing to do with anything on y'all's end. It has to do with the fact that the story for the manga was really, really good, and the anime only focused either on one aspect of the manga or the other, and it never did like the full story like it should have. If they'd actually do a Negima anime and actually go with the story from the manga, oh my god, that would be amazing. Especially because there's a sequel now. The mangaka that wrote Negima has a sequel going on right now called UQ Holder, and it's just the writing is so good. It's just super, super good. But yeah, I mean, I now have to go to that con just to get you to sign copies of Negima.
Well, come on, man.
I know, right?
Well, you know what, Richie? Worst case, you just mail it to me and I'll have him sign it.
Right. I'll have to buy an extra copy because I have all of it, and I want to have my. I want to at least get an extra copy just in case anything happens. Yes, you were in Psycho Pass. I just saw season 2 of Psycho Pass. Hell yeah!
Yeah. I know I did it. I don't remember what I did.
You
I don't
were
think I
in
did
2
much.
episodes.
Yeah.
7, 8, and 9. Apparently, you were in 3.
Okay.
Okay. At least, hey, you were in a named character. It doesn't have you as doing various voices. School Rumble. You were the narrator for.
I was the narrator in School Rumble, which had very, very little narration, but it had a little bit. Yeah. That's when I first met Brina Palencia. She was directing that.
Oh yeah, Brina. Oh, there you go. Space Dandy. Okay, yep. That's where I figured that's where I knew I'd heard your voice before. You were the narrator in Space Dandy, which means
he's a dandy guy in space.
oh my goodness, yeah. Now I'm kind of now I'm kind of like wondering if I should like poke Devin. My friend Devin, who runs a convention here in Nashville, he actually cosplays as the Space Dandy.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's becoming more and more popular. Yeah.
I'm just gonna send him your way and be like, hey, you want to attend another con, kind of semi-closer?
Come on, man. You bet.
Now that we're talking about
Oh,
space,
Steve
all I can
Dratcher,
think of is
Spice
the
and
one
Wolf.
scene.
Oh, you were in Spiral. Man, so many shows that I've watched, and I'm sitting here going, you were that guy, you were that guy. Oh, you were Ichiryu in Toriko. Hell yeah.
Okay.
He was the president of the World Food Corporation in Toriko.
Oh yes. Oh yes, I do remember that one. Yes, I do remember that one. That was a pretty interesting show.
I found that one to be like one of the most interesting shows I'd ever actually had.
It was all about going and finding fascinating and exotic things to eat, right?
Yes.
Yeah, crazy.
I just found that casting to be hilarious because they cast Ian Sinclair as Toriko, and Ian Sinclair, like every time I hear another voice actor talk about Ian, they immediately comment on how great of a cook he is.
On how good a cook he is, really?
He apparently makes some delicious food.
I did not know that. Well, he's never invited me over, but he's a good friend.
You need to contact Ian and be like, "Hey, where's my food invite?"
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, yes.
I'll have to ask him about that.
The show. Frick yeah.
He's gonna be at Shirocon also.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I do know that.
Okay, there we go. Oh, Bruce, you're in Attack on Titan as well.
Yeah, Pixis.
Yeah, I'm Pixis.
Yep. So there's another one that's just people are going crazy about now.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Captain Ginyu, Broly. Goodness, great. Well, I mean, I'm not.
No, he didn't do Broly.
Everyone's in Dragon Ball Z at one point.
Wait, I thought Vic did Broly.
Huh?
Are we talking about Dragon Ball Z now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Broly? I was that. Yeah, the original series. When I first started working at Funimation, they were getting very close to the end of the original DBZ series.
The movie, the second Broly movie.
And so I was like a guest villain alien on this little 2-episode arc. And then when they redid Dragon Ball as Dragon Ball Z Kai,
Yeah.
the original guy that did Captain Ginyu, I guess, had moved or was not available, and I got to play Captain Ginyu, and that was a gas.
Oh yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Ah.
What
I'm
else,
still-
guys?
I'm still thinking of
I'm still really
Space Dandy stuff.
Oh my God, you're in Tenchimuyo War on Jiminar. Hell yeah! Oh.
What now? I didn't understand you.
You're in Tenchimuyo War on Jiminar as Babylon Messet. I don't know. I have to look
God.
him up.
That's another one. I'll just have to take your word for it.
Well, it says it on an official source, so I'm gonna believe it. But,
I use Anime News Network to find out what I was in too.
right?
Because I don't remember half of them. You know, more than half of those shows were probably
you were the final
probably
bad
one
guy.
session for me.
Okay,
You
you
know,
were
not-
the final bad guy in Tenchimuyo War on Jiminar. He's got a bunch of little scar-looking things on his face, and he walks around with a big white cape. And yeah, I don't.
Gosh, don't remember. Sorry, just
It's all
don't
good.
remember.
It's all good. Sadly, I have you on the phone and not on the internet. Otherwise, I'd be sending you the pictures. I'd be like, "Here's a link. See who it says."
I found the thing I was looking for. I was thinking of the Space Dandy Planet Trendy narration, which was I just looked it up. It was the funniest thing. If my internet decided it wanted to not freeze my browser, I would link you, Richie, because it's really funny. But yeah, this is exactly the moment when Chrome decides, hey, let's freeze.
Oh well.
So
Yeah, I'm a Mac
basically, we
guy.
brought you into a call so that
I'm on a Mac, yeah.
we could just have our inner childhood scream at you.
Go wild.
So I guess we should talk a little more about Fairy Tail, or I'm gonna move back to Case Closed again. Case Closed is always a good standby.
Absolutely. But I love Fairy Tail. You know, it's been one of the longest running gigs for me with the single character, and I've really enjoyed it.
And Makarov really does actually have a lot to do and say, because he's very much the father figure for this
Oh, yeah.
group of misfit mages.
Yeah, I could wish that he had more to do, frankly, but you know, sometimes he's really a major character, you know, in one this or that story arc. But most of the time he stays back at the clubhouse and drinks and sends the kids off to have all the adventures.
Well, I mean, after a certain point in time, you got to leave it up to the next generation.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, you say misfit mages. I just say prone to violence.
Prone to violence.
Yep.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, I'm out of questions. Someone else take over.
Okay.
Someone else take over.
Well, I've enjoyed talking to you all.
We definitely have too, and sadly, I think we're gonna probably wrap it up there because the weather is kind of turning worse for the wear over here. I think we'll end this on the note of saying, everybody that wants Case Closed back, please send a message to Funimation on their social media, Facebook, Twitter,
Yeah,
whatever you use.
absolutely.
Let them know you will buy it and you want it back.
Yes, please. I don't know what the number, you know, there must be a number. I don't know what that number is, but maybe if we get that number. I always live in hope of Case Closed coming back. It was so much fun.
We'll start a Kickstarter for Case Closed, man.
Let's do it, man. I'm all for it. I'll throw in $10.
Right?
Absolutely.
But that's going to be, I think, the end of this interview. Unless
right.
you want to give any closing remarks as Makarov to our audience.
Well, let's see. I have to find the voice, and I use the line I use is, he says, "It's the ancient unpull a spell." Ah, there's Makarov right there. All right, so well, you kids go off, have adventures, try not to get killed. I'll be sitting here at the bar getting drunk and looking for girls.
So wait. Minus the strip clubs, that's basically
Yeah, that's basically minus the strip clubs. That's our Makarov.
Yeah, story of my life.
Oh my god.
and that's it for us, ladies and gentlemen.